Sharply, I no go lie you. Now time for inside of Big Talk. We don't change them. I tell you, say 8 o'clock we go change them, and a Big Talk where we don't enter. Now, don't worry yourself because waiting with the yarn for Big Talk. Now, some of the things I say you did for the headline, but we'll still touch them this morning for inside of the Big Talk. In case you don't wonder, and a Citizen FM, this one 93.7 Super Citizen at Sunrise. Me, when they talk, they call me the chief priest. You fit call me Ezemmuoe, one oracle of the citizens. Anyone where you call me, you go well. Now, this morning, many things don't happen for some time. We consign law. You know, when you say Supreme Court pass judgment, scoff, we call it here, President give speech, you know, we still talk about, yes, make we still they recirculate the 200 naira note, give CBN directive, make we still they recirculate the 200 naira note. Since then, many governors done the ginger. Chief of them, Governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, done the ginger. Some other governors, Governor of Kano State, Ganduji, Governor of Kogi State, Governor Yahaya Bello, different governor of Zamfara State, different governors done they come out the ginger. And right now, according by today, we hear say about 10 governors the ginger. Say, President, obey Supreme Court now. So we don't hear all of this legal matter. Now, make we check. Because if we look the government, we get the executive, we get the legislature, we get the judiciary, okay? And the elections will go happen on Saturday. It has to do with us or Nigerians choosing who go sit down for inside of the president's seat there. And of course, the House of the legislature, of course, that one self go happen on Saturday, okay? Will be the National Assembly, all right? Now, how about the judiciary? How about the legal angle to this whole matter? Will they talk about judiciary before elections, during election, waiting be their work, after elections, waiting be their work? Okay? So, to talk all of these things and some other matter we concern legal and judicial matters for inside of election, we get somebody, when they be say go follow us, reason I'm one-on-one this morning. Make I just put them on call, make we yarn shortly so that we go understand some of these things them when they be saying questions we consign law or judiciary and election. We get Barrister Michael Akinwale when they be saying a legal practitioner and arbitrator when they be in a principal counsel for Michael Akinwale and Co. for Marina for Lagos. Now member of the Nigerian Bar Association MBA, member of Conflict Management Group, now still member of Chartered Institute of Arbitrators Nigerian branch, and of course now member Institute of Data Processing Management of Nigeria. Okay, so we'll go follow Yan this morning. You could join us via phone call. Make we talk about some of these matters. We consign legal matters, yes, and election based on how they be. Good morning, Barrister Mike Akinwale. Good morning to you this morning. Hello. Barrister Mike, you there this morning? Hello. Yes. Good morning, Barrister Mike. You there? Hello. Yes, you did hear us quickly. All right. Make we try put them back on call. Maybe network they give us more higgy haga. We'll try call them back this morning based on how they be. Make we hear one or two things based on how the matters take the go. Make we understand because he did the right position to answer some of these questions for us. Hello, Barrister Mike. Good morning to you there.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, so welcome on board. We did live on top of radio for Citizen FM 93.7 for Abuja. You did live on air on top Super Citizen at Sunrise. Welcome, sir.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
All right. So quickly, many questions they ground, many questions here and there. But make we even start with the one when they be say, okay, make we leave that one with the hot well, because with the hear Supreme Court judgment, the governors and the president's speech, we'll go come back to that one. But make we talk about, we get 5 days to election, Barrister Mike. Waiting be the work of judiciary before elections. Make we start before the elections. Waiting be the work of judiciary before the elections.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Well, now, elections generally all over, we have issues that would arise before election.
Okay.
We have issues that will arise during elections. And we have issues that will arise after election. Now, the judicial powers
Yes.
in Nigeria is vested in the courts by virtue of Section 6 of the 1999 Constitution. So the position then is that if you have any issue before the election, which issue called pre-election matters, you approach the Federal High Court, which has been given exclusive jurisdiction to undo matters that come up, election matters that come up before the election. And so, before the election, it is the duty of the courts in Nigeria to resolve all issues within the election framework that arose before the election. Under the law, we call such issues pre-election matters.
Right.
And right now, most of them are at the Supreme Court right now because they started long time ago. They started long time ago, and what has happened is that the current legal framework has helped so that such matters are always fast-tracked. If you recall very well, there was some months ago, the CJN, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, set up a panel of about 300 judges, specifically tasked to deal with pre-election matters. Those 300, yes, they were specifically tasked to deal with pre-election matters. And so what you have is that they already have all those judges, so that in their court, I can say, because as I go to court very well, so I can say that in the courts, they dedicated some days specifically for pre-election matters. It is all in a bid to ensure that such matters are resolved
before elections.
Before elections, yes, exactly.
All right, so you should resolve
for elections.
Okay, so quickly, you should give us like one or two examples of such pre-election matters we need to resolve before election. One or two of such cases we need to resolve. Now, yes, give.
I have February last year, February 2022. The President signed the Electoral Act into law, which repealed the last one we had. That was the 2010 Electoral Act. Now, that new one, the new Electoral Act 2022, defined what they call pre-election matters. Basically, in layman terms, pre-election matters can occur under 3 different categories.
Make we hear.
Number one, yes. Number one is that a candidate can have a case with his party. That's section 285 subsection 14, between the aspirant and his party. Between the aspirant and his party, for failure of the party to comply with either the Electoral Act, the party constitution, or party guidelines. That is number one. Now, and that's the first category of
pre-election all right
matters.
Yes.
Now, the second category of pre-election matter is where you have a complaint by an aspirant against the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Remember, the first one is just between the
parties. Yes, inside the party.
Yes. Now, the second category is between the aspirant and INEC. Meaning that an aspirant can sue INEC for actions, decisions, or activities of INEC which do not comply with the Electoral Act or any act of the National Assembly pertaining to selection and nomination or participation in an election which INEC has failed to comply with. So the first one we have said is that a dispute within the party.
All right.
The second one is a dispute between the aspirant and INEC.
Okay.
If an aspirant at an election, a primary, is of the view that INEC has failed to take a step, or INEC has taken a step that has in any way not complied with the requirements of the law, the law allows such aspirants to approach the courts.
To sue INEC?
To sue INEC, yes. To
All
sue
right.
INEC.
All right.
For instance, now, if maybe they nominated, after nomination they submitted the list, and then the wrong substitution after they had submitted his own name validly, then the INEC refused to act on that list submitted, or INEC did something contrary to what was submitted by the party. So such an aspirant has a ground to proceed against INEC.
All right. So make we go to the third. Yes.
The third one is between a party. A party. That's paragraph C there. It says that a political party can sue INEC for any administrative decision or action regarding either the party's candidates, nomination, or disqualification. So if a party has submitted names to INEC, INEC is in a position to say we accept or we do not accept. So when a party says this is the person we have nominated, and INEC says that we are not accepting the person, if you recall, there were instances when INEC would say that they did not, that primary that the party is relying on, they did not witness it. Because the law requires that INEC must observe a party
primaries.
And so when the party conducts its primary without the presence of INEC, when finally the party then sends the list to INEC, INEC is in a position to say they are not aware that any such primary was conducted, as they were not present there. And so in such instances, we said that the party can sue INEC on it. That also is a pre-election matter.
All right. Okay, so we don't look at the categories of cases which come out before elections, right? Now make we look at election now 5 days time. On Saturday we'll get election. Anything where it bust out, we concern legal matter, if it happen on that election day, waiting be legal issues if it occur on the day of election. Go. Any such thing there?
Yes.
Make we hear.
Several things can happen on the day of election.
Okay.
Number one, issues of violence may happen. Issues of accreditation will start from accreditation.
Okay.
We start with the issue of voting itself.
And then where people that people can seek redress for in court. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, yes. It is the party or the candidate of the party that can seek redress.
Okay.
Because that is it is the party or a candidate of a party that can actually seek redress when we talk about issues that arise on election day.
Election day. All right.
On election day.
All right.
So I hope you get that.
Yes, I get that one. Yes.
Or the candidate of a party at the election on that election day, that very party or its candidate can have issues, and there are things that would majorly still depend on the results that would be announced. But majorly on that day, have issues of accreditation,
violence, and all of that.
Violence.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, make we now switch. Make we go to after. I want make we address all these ones before we go to the other issue. Now, make we go to after elections. After elections, we know, say, many people, you're going to hear tribunal, you're going to hear court cases, people they drag. I mean, in states like Anambra State, states like, you get some states for the country where we say after governor don't enter, after some years or after some months, where the case don't linger for court go upturn the victory or the supposed victory of the person where they there talk say no, now this person win them, then that person go start his own tenure. Now make we talk about post-election litigation. Make we talk about them.
Yes, that's okay. Now, coming from issues that will arise from the election day, we'll get to the after election, the post-election, and so would have issues relating to vote counting, overvoting, an announcement of results, and then an announcement of candidates who won. So I have said it earlier that the judicial powers in Nigeria are vested in the courts. And acting on that Section 6 of the 1999 Constitution, this Chief Justice of Nigeria has already set up a body of judges that would take care, that would be in the different election petition tribunals. You see, it is the power of the courts to interpret the law. It is the power of the courts to decide, to make decisions on disputes that are submitted to them. And so where a candidate feels or has reasonable grounds to believe that some decisions, either by INEC, have not some decisions of INEC do not go down well with him, he is at liberty to approach the courts. And these tribunals now that are set up by the various by the CJN, the Chief Justice of Nigeria. So now, after election, what are the issues that can happen?
Yes.
Look, for instance, now the issue of overvoting. One of the new changes, one of the changes that we have in this new electoral act is that it has, number one, reviewed the definition of overvoting. Under the former act, overvoting simply means that the number of votes cast is higher than the number of registered voters. So let me give you an example. In a polling unit, 700 people were registered.
All right.
Then, on the day of election, they observed that 710 people actually voted.
That is overvoting.
Under the old act, that is what is regarded overvoting. But no, not so again. Under the new act, the new act has streamlined the definition even further by saying that overvoting simply means that the number of vote cast is higher than the number of accredited voters. Now, accredited voters are those that came on the day of election and were accredited by the electoral officer that they are eligible to cast their votes. So you may have 700 people registered in that polling unit, but on the day of election, only 300 turn up for the election. And so overvoting would then occur if you have more than 300 people who got accredited, actually voted.
Who voted?
Yes.
All right.
So, who voted? Yes. Yeah. No longer the issue of, before it was the registered number of voters that is taken as the standard, but now it is not. It is the number of accredited voters, people who came there and were accredited to vote. Once you can have 800 people that were registered in that area, but only 200 came out to vote. So it will be regarded as overvoting. We are 201. And you will notice that this is what was the gravamen of argument in this last tribunal, the Osun one.
Osun State.
Yes, in Osun State. That was and that is one of the issues again with the technological innovations that we have in this new electoral act.
New election. Talk about the beavers. All right.
Beavers.
All right. Beavers. So this one where you hit a very important point. So no matter how many people will register, so if people come out that day, come do accreditation. Now that number of people will do accreditation, 9 suppose vote. If then plus 1 overvoting don't happen with that.
But and they will cancel. All of them, it means their voting is 0.
That's that polling booth. Now that polling unit entirely
0. Entirely 0.
Wow. All right, that one day clear. So, yes, go ahead.
Yes, the implication then is that each person, each voter should know that for my vote to count, I must ensure, for my vote to count, I must ensure that in this my polling unit, they no do because once they had one vote to hit,
everybody's votes in that polling booth will be null and void. Wow.
So it's a higher duty on all voters to ensure that in my polling unit there's no mago.
So how
there
they go?
Is no man. If you open your eyes,
yes.
If you open your eyes and you allow the mago to happen, all of you have nullified all your votes in that polling unit. You have nullified.
Wow. So the voters, everybody get responsibility to make sure they monitor your polling booth.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, we all have that responsibility.
All right.
Else our votes will not count.
Wow. Very solid one. Thank you for that one. Now, quickly, make we now go to this particular matter, this particular issue. When it be say Supreme Court's been done pass judgment, we talk say okay, based on one or two. First off, it begin with CBN. The monetary, the new policy, and all of that. Some governors go court, talk about the Zamfara State Governor, the Kogi State Governor, and of course the Kaduna State Governor. Then go court to tell the Supreme Court. Tell Supreme Court, say Supreme Court, this thing now when it be say CBN do, can we tell them to hold on top of the matter? And Supreme Court say okay, make them maintain status quo. Abi now, and as they talk that one, President will come out much later, come drop speech. We talk say okay, 200 naira note, we can bring it back into circulation. Don't give the CBN directive to bring 200 naira back into circulation, but 500 and 1,000 remain outlawed. Okay, now that one now no go down well. We don't hear some state governors like Kaduna State, like Kano State, they tell their people. In fact, for Kano State, they shut down business. Any business will reject old naira note. If they report you, the authorities for the state will shut down the business. So we can't look at even for Lagos State, they say continue spending your old note. Kaduna State, continue spending your old note. Kano State, continue spending and some states like that. Now we're going to look at now. This thing now no be conflict with this. Some states they spend the new old notes. Some states no they spend the old notes. Now that one on one angle of the argument. The other angle of the argument be saying Supreme Court versus President versus the governors. Now make we talk about the law. Where the law stand for this whole thing, Barrister Mike?
Thank you very much. You see, we have all of us, we have watched, very, very unhappily at the turn of events. Number one is this. We must admit very clearly that by virtue of the CBN Act 2007, it is the CBN that has power to determine what is legal tender in Nigeria. That power, it is the CBN that has power to determine what is legal tender in Nigeria. It is important we establish that.
So hold on, sir. So let me just quickly clarify something. A very important point you just make now. That means if CBN come out and because they don't get power to determine what is legal tender, if CBN come out say, okay, this one now no be legal tender again, they still get that power.
Now, they get the power.
Okay.
But you see, every action or omission of anybody, institution or person is subject to interpretation and to the powers of the courts. And so when you come out to say this is legal tender, but then that's your action or omission has been taken to court, and the court has made a pronouncement on it, whether interim or otherwise. Whether you agree or you do not agree, you obey the last order. You obey the last order. And so if we look very critically into this, section 2, section 17, section 19 of that CBN Act gives the CBN power to determine what legal tender is. Section 17 specifically says that the CBN would ask power to issue currency and coins. Is what we have. That is exactly what is in issue now. Now, that section says that with the approval of the president on the recommendation of the board of the CBN may issue currency notes and coins. And the president said he has approved this, and it is taken, for granted that it is on the recommendation of the board of the CBN. Now, done. No problem. But then some state governors, when they saw this and they saw the what citizens, the ordinary citizens were going through, they approached the Supreme Court. Let's make it also clear that the Supreme Court has original jurisdiction when a dispute arises between the state government, any state government, and the federal government. They are in a position to approach the Supreme Court directly, and that is what they did. Now,
that's omitting High Court and all of that. They go directly to the Supreme Court.
Yes, for them, on such issues, the Supreme Court acts as the court of first. It's of original jurisdiction. It has original jurisdiction over any dispute between a state government
and the federal government.
And these three states, they've said, we have a dispute with the federal government on this issue. Now, they have approached the Supreme Court on this same issue, legal tender on these notes that have been issued, when they will, cease to be legal tender. The Supreme Court, they filed an application before the Supreme Court seeking for an order of interim injunction restraining the federal government through the CBN. Now, the truth is that the technical portion of this thing is that the law is clear that when you are not a party to a case, you are not bound by the order. But then, the people that the lawyers that drafted that order that they sought for, they saw it, they foresaw what would happen. And so they knew that they could not add the CBN to that action because it would then oust the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. It is only a dispute between the state government and the federal government that can go directly to the Supreme Court. So if you join the CBN, it may then affect the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court to hear that matter. And so in their wisdom, they deliberately omitted the CBN. But because the CBN is also a creation of the law, yes, and it's a federal agency, if you check the relief they sought, it is an injunction, the interim order restraining the federal government through the CBN. And so the Supreme Court, in its wisdom, granted an order of interim injunction restraining the federal government through the CBN, because they know that it is the CBN that indeed issues legal tender.
Okay.
That order of the Supreme Court is the highest court of the land. That order is subsisting. That order must be obeyed. And so, when the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, if you recall first, when the Attorney General was interviewed, he said they would study it, and then later the Attorney General said yes, they will comply. Yes, because the federal government is a party. But then we were hearing rumors that the CBN, rightly so, said that they are not bound by the order because they are not a party. In the full eyes of the law, yes, the CBN was not a party. But the order affected the CBN because they deliberately included the CBN in that order. And so for any reason at all, the CBN ought to have first complied with that order. And it was total executive recklessness for the president to go contradict directly. It's not even in any way indirect. Expressly went against the interim orders of the Supreme Court. That is a no. We all arms of government should await and should be bound by the orders given by the Supreme Court.
All right.
And so
yes.
I yes.
No, go ahead. Finish up. Yes.
I agree that the order given by the Supreme Court ought to be obeyed by the president and the CBN. The actions of both the Mr. President and the CBN after that order was given, they are actions that were done, ultra wires. Definitely, there were actions that were done totally in breach of the orders of court. They were in total contempt of the orders of the Supreme Court. I know that as lawyers, they have looked at it and they are challenging the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. So it is their belief that by the time the preliminary objection is taken and heard, possibly the Supreme Court may eventually strike out that case. And so it will not matter whether you obeyed the order or not. But the truth is, the Supreme Court has given an order. The order is still subsisting. Everyone should comply with that order.
All right. Now, but if I get you correctly, you say the lawyers will prepare that suit against, we prepare that suit on behalf of the governors. Say they know. Say if they mention, you mentioned that, I want to make you clarify that part. Say if they mention CBN for inside of that suit, say automatically it don't be outside of the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. Abi?
Yes.
That's correct. Now,
yes.
So that one not be the same argument where some people, not the same argument where some people they bring out where say, yes, this whole thing is outside the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court in the first place. Which is why the president to go ahead still do talk waiting and talk, because he did outside of the jurisdiction of Supreme Court in the first place to stop give CBN that injunction. I want to make you clarify that part so that people go understand better.
Yes, you see, we lawyers, we are draftsmen, and when you see a problem ahead, you look for solutions. You see, if this matter was allowed to be taken to the High Court, it would just waste time unnecessarily. Appeals, because all the people go to their different high courts, and then we just have all those litigations littering the entire judicial system. And so it was in their wisdom to go directly to the Supreme Court. And then they knew that by adding the CBN to as a part, definitely to rob the Supreme Court of jurisdiction. So as draftsmen, that's what we lawyers are. They knew that there's a leeway, a way to do it, that the action is against the federal government. But then the decisions of the federal government will be carried out by the CBN, because it says that it is approval that is needed from the president upon the recommendation of the board of the CBN. So it was still okay, and regardless of whatever we even have against it, that order is subsisting. That is the most important thing. That order is subsisting until that order is set aside. We all are bound by it. But it was in their wisdom. They I don't want to call it a loophole. It was just a technical wisdom on their part to not add CBN as a party, but that in the order they were seeking for, they mentioned CBN. Of course, CBN, the federal government, they have opportunity to come to that court, and which they have. They have brought their preliminary objection against the action, against the suit. The Supreme Court will decide, just few days, 22nd, that should be on Wednesday, the Supreme Court will make a decision one way or the other on it. You get? But it was wise on their part, if I would say.
Right.
I think it was wise
on their part to intentionally leave that loophole, Abby.
Yes.
All right.
And include them.
Yes. Okay, so now make we look this matter now. 22nd will be say be the next today 22nd of Wednesday, like you rightly mentioned.
Yes.
Now already Presido don't give directive. Say I have directed the CBN to reintroduce the 200 naira into circulation. Abi, now if 22nd, if CBN by 22nd talk about the injunction where Supreme Court already put on ground, waiting to happen after 22nd now. Waiting to happen.
Well, the injunction given by the Supreme Court is pending the hearing and determination of the motion on notice, because it's an interim order. Now,
break them down for us. Maybe all of us be lawyer. Break them down for us, sir.
Okay, now
Yes.
that order is an order where we say, it talks say, oh, this order I give you till the time when we go decide this motion. When
okay. Okay.
So it is not a forever order.
Okay.
The order no be forever. It just say the order be stay until we decide if this motion will then bring before us. So if the Supreme Court on that day, 22nd, if the Supreme Court gives orders relating to that motion, the motion will then bring. You know, other states have joined, about states now have joined.
Yes, about 10 of them now. Yes.
Here's that motion. Yes. If the Supreme Court hears that motion on that day and then gives ruling one way or the other, then it takes care of, this order of interim. This interim order becomes of no use again. Because it is an interim order, it is just pending the hearing and determination. So if the Supreme Court further adjourns for ruling on that motion, what it means is that order is still alive, it's still subsisting.
All right.
And if proceedings that we got from Supreme Court were right, you see, proceedings from there says that the opening speech of Melos at the Supreme Court was that today's proceeding is not about who complied or who does not. It is more of putting heads together on how to ensure that our people are not unduly put in
hard positions.
Yes, that's what one of the members of that panel on that day said.
Okay.
And ordinarily, we are seeing the extra legal factors, the extra legal considerations coming in, strictly because the president and the CBN have gone contrary to the order of the Supreme.
Hello.
And ordinarily,
yes,
that's contempt of court. Ordinarily, the lawyers would have taken steps, to file relevant processes on contempt of court, before. But you see that these are the extra legal factors. The Supreme Court too cautious not to unduly eat up the polity. Because if, for instance, let's just say, for instance, the contempt is issued against the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the governor of the CBN, and it is pending before the Supreme Court. What happens when the Supreme Court then convicts the president for contempt of court?
Okay. Now, make we talk about some things now. You there?
Yes.
Yes. You don't hear me, ba?
I'm with you.
Now, make we talk about some things.
I'm with you, sir.
Okay. Now, some of the things where I want to address. Yes. You don't hear me? Hello.
It's 8:39 a.m.
All right. Quickly, what did I want make we talk about, Barrister Mike? I want make we look this matter where concern the.
Hello.
Yes. Hello. Okay. Make I try call you back. I go call him back now. Make we address some of these matters shortly. Some of the issues where they're on ground now. The issue of waiting the governors they do for their states, how they don't give directives. Let's talk about Kaduna State Governor, for instance. We don't talk, say, you don't tell the agencies, for inside of the states there, make them continue to they collect the old notes. I want make we look at that one. Make I try and get back to Barrister Mike this morning so that making help us clarify that side. Make we understand some of these things, them, when it be said in the talk, where some of the state governors, they tell, like Lagos State, like Kaduna State, of course, and of course, some of those states, make we understand that part. Make I try call back Barrister Mike, make we understand that area, quickly. Make I put them on call, make we know, waiting, we need to understand in that regard. Why it be say some states go give directive, continue using your old naira. Some other states go talk, say, Hello, you there? Barrister Mike, can you hear me? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, welcome back, Barrister Mike. You didn't hear me? Okay. Quickly, we still there here. We go still try with some of the technical, just like in the talk, say some of this is where concern beavers, some of the technical challenges where they with beavers. Now, so it's still there. Some of the technical challenges where they with phone call. Barrister Mike, you there?
Yes, I did.
Okay, welcome back. So quickly, make we just check them quickly in the next 2 minutes. I want to make you give us perspective, make you give us angle, all right, to this particular issue when it be say Kaduna State Governor, Lagos State Governor, Kogi State Governor, Zamfara State Governor, and some other governors. They don't talk, say, for their state, Kano State too. For their state, this state where we dey inside, now me be the chief executive officer for this state. Somebody like El Rufai been give speech. He talks, say, continue spending your money. Say your money is still legal tender even in the next 100 years. He talk like that. Meanwhile, on the federal level, CBN they talk, say, see, this 500 and 22 and 1,000 is no longer legal tender. This particular conflict, help us address them. Make sense out of it for us. How can some state governors be saying don't spend, and in some part of the country they are saying you can spend? Make we understand them better.
We must get it very clear.
Yes.
The law gives the CBN power to determine legal tender. But this same law, the same law that gave the CBN power to determine legal tender, there is a superior law that gives the courts power to interpret the law. And so when you have a conflict between the express provision of what the law says and what the court is saying, it is better to stay with the courts. Now, I sincerely believe that it is better to stay with the order of the Supreme Court. But practically, there is a danger.
There is a what? There's a danger. Okay.
There is a danger. In it. Because if the governor says continue spending the money, it is not.
Now, wow, technological higgy haga. Are you there, sir?
So I'm there. I'm here.
Okay.
I said that it is not the governor that determines what is legal tender, but the governors have decided to be content with the order of the Supreme Court. Which I sincerely also agree with. But this danger there is in that, or even strikes out this matter entirely. What happens? Because then you don't have any cause to go to any bank to say, accept this money. And that is one of the things we say about the judiciary. How do you still rely on the executive to enforce whatever you say? That the judiciary still needs the apparatus of the executive arm to actually execute whatever order. And so it is safer right now to try as much as possible to dispose of the old currencies you have with you. Sincerely, it is safe, because if anything, if the Supreme Court gives an order that goes in favor of the federal government, that old currency you have with you, no bank will take it to. No commercial bank will accept it from you, because they only rely on circulars and directives from the CBN.
From the CBN. All right.
Yes. No banks will take a currency, a note
that has been declared null and void. There's no longer a legal tender.
Because essentially it is the CBN that are taking the notes to. And so if the CBN will not accept the notes from them, then they have no reason to accept the notes from citizens.
All
so
right.
I say it very clearly.
Yes.
The DRC one is better to, it is on the face of it, better to comply with the decision of the Supreme Court. But where the CBN and the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria have decided to go against the order of the Supreme Court.
Okay. All right.
For the lawyers of the different states, it will be an added strategy for the lawyers of the different states to possibly consider filing contempt proceedings. Maybe that can force the hands of the executive arm to at least comply with the orders of the Supreme Court. But to our citizens, please, it is safer to dispose of the old notes, because practically, and I'm underlining this, practically, the Supreme Court does not have the means to enforce the order, and that is why we have the executive doing the way they like.
Okay. Make we just quickly address this matter, because I see the phone the ring. I would like to take one or two calls, but make you just address this one matter for us quickly. Now, some people don't, they come outside, they talk the action. They say the actions of some of these governors not treason. Say they supposed arrest somebody like El Rufai.
No,
say that treason is treason. How you see that one?
I totally disagree.
Okay.
Because there is a pending order. You cannot. There is a pending of the highest court of the land. So there is a court order, a Supreme Court order that they are relying on. And as long as that order subsists, any action that is granted on that order cannot be faulted.
All right. Just hold on, Barrister Mike. Just hold on there. Make I take this one call. This call make I just take this one call, and they come back to you now before we round up. Hello, who there this morning now? Hello,
good morning.
Morning to you. Waiting me your name. Where they call us from?
My name is Kingsley Okafo from Wuse Zone 1.
Confirm. Welcome. We hear you quickly.
Yeah, it's pleasing to be listening to the lawyer. Then maybe he will just join this my concern to what he will address.
All right.
The people that filed the case use the backyard to remove CBM from the suit directly.
Okay.
So that they won't have to go through Federal High Court, so they can speed it, they can make it fast. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, CBN is also relying that same backyard to say we are not party to the suit. You understand?
Okay.
So the man who used the backyard is also accusing another man who is using the backyard that you are not complying with the laws of the land. So we just want to be clear. That is why sometimes one lawyer will come and say a different thing, another lawyer will come and say a different thing.
All right.
You keep the citizens confused. So I just want to add it to what he's saying. So let me reserve my own comment.
All right.
This is a lawyer and I'm not. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kingsley, for that one. Making just address that one quickly. Thank you so much. Barrister Mike, I don't know whether you hear waiting. Mr. Kingsley just talked from Wuse just now. Call will receive. I don't know whether you hear him. He said that loophole where they talk so now, where the lawyers will draft that suit on behalf of the governors. Say based on that loophole, now the same loophole, 9 CBN they capitalize on. You reason I'm like that?
Well, in a way, he's correct. But you see, the lawyers that drafted that, they have done better. And how is this? You see, it would have been wiser if the president did not make any pronouncement. But the order is against a party, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, represented by the president. So now the president is the one that will give approval. And so they are still the people, the lawyers involved in that suit, the plaintiffs there. I tell you that they are in a better standing. Because number one, the president now has taken a step. The president, who is a party, the federal government, who is a party, has now taken a step, especially on the issues of the reintroduction of 200 naira notes. It is a clear case of contempt against that subsisting order
from the Supreme Court.
Yes, I hope you get what I'm saying.
Yes.
I agree. I've said it before. The CBN is not a party. The law is clear that if you are not a party, you are not banned.
All right.
But what is the position when the order specifically mentions you? You can only apply to court to set aside the order. But until then, you are banned by it.
You are banned by it.
Until then, you are banned by it. That order.
All right.
Yes, and more importantly, is that the president, who is a party, the federal government, who is a party, has now taken clear steps contrary to the direct orders of the Supreme Court.
Okay.
So it's a major error there, but I give a 60 to the plaintiffs. I give a 40 to CBN.
A 60 to the plaintiff, a 40 to CBN. Quickly, because of time, we get like 2 minutes. In fact, we get 1 minute to take a round up. So inside that 1 minute, we remain. Barrister Mike, I want to make you just tell the final words. Make you just tie everything together, because citizens, so many people, they vex. Many people say yes, let's be patient. Some people, they vex. So I want to make you just use the next 1 minute, tell citizens what they need to know from the perspective of the law, so that people go understand better. In the next 1 minute, quickly use and take a round out quickly.
I would just advise citizens in this whole issue of currency reintroduction. The political aspect, in the political undertone, is actually higher than what we as citizens are being informed about. Do your best to just manage yourself. Violence is erupting here and there, pockets of violence here and there. Please be safe first. Be safe first. Be safe to be alive for the election. So that at the election, you decide whether you want this or you want that. And then ensure that your vote counts. Ensure that you do sufficient things that will make your vote
count.
To count.
All right.
Ensure that you do.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Barrister Mike. As the matter take the beat. Thank you for your time. When you join us this morning on top of the matter. We hope so we'll call you again shortly. Make you still help us understand some things for Lord. Thank you. All right, so that's not the voice of the voice where you just hear, the voice of Barrister Mike. I beg, they see the phones, they ring because of time. You know, many things today say we supposed to address we never really touch. So I believe that maybe within the week we could still call Barrister Mike, or we could join maybe other lawyers, make we still address some of these things. Barrister Mike, now legal practitioner and arbitrator, principal counsel for Michael Akinwale for Marina for Lagos. They are member of the Nigerian Bar Association, member Nigeria Conflict Management Group. Thank you so much for your time. All right, one thing when you talk will be the last word when you leave, and that same last word I want to leave you. I beg, you need to stay alive first. Now who they alive, they vote, so that if you reach that ballot box, you go know whether you want this or that. I like that one. Make we hold on to that one, even as we try to get the better and better understanding about all of these things. The most important thing now to stay alive first. Avoid violence, avoid the violent protest where they happen. No put hand, no join hand on top of the matter. This one now super citizen at sunrise. We'll go do them again tomorrow. We'll go talk other matters. They call me Ezemmuoe, the chief priest. Thank you for you. We don't join us since 6 o'clock. Go reach just now. Tomorrow again 6 o'clock on top of the matter. And don't forget, say 9 o'clock. With the inter newsroom and other things, they go reach 12 midnight. No touch your radio. Enjoy yourself on a good morning.
This is our journey. We've had our finest moments and our darkest hours. Yet we pull ourselves back from